Yes.
What kind of, do you have a gun?
Yeah.
Really, what, a 22 or a shotgun?
22.
22. Awesome. And do you go hunting in the wintertime as well as in the fall and the summer? You can hunt whenever you want. And what kind of fishing do you like to do?
Any kind of fishing.
Any kind of fishing. Have you caught some big ones?
Sometimes.
I don't want to get you, as an 8-year-old, telling us a fish story, you know, and lying about the size of the fish. One of my sons was telling me about this huge fish, and every time he told me, the fish got bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you feel like Grand Chief Beardy is a father to you?
Yeah.
Do you have, like you grew up without a father, right, until you met the chief? Is that right? Wow. And has he filled this this hole in your life?
Yeah, when we lost our only child, my wife, and we lost our son, it's a very shattering experience. It's something, I guess, the worst nightmare a parent can possibly have, and that's what happened to us. And because our children are very special to us, we tend to focus a lot of our efforts to make sure the child has a bright future, that the opportunities are for them. We are not any different from anybody else. So when we lost our child, our son, our only child, our world was shattered. And at that point in time, I really questioned myself what the purpose of my life would be without my son. And I think that's that point in time that little Brayden, right? And when I saw him and put his tiny little hand in mine and said, I'm your son, I'll be your friend, that gave me hope, that a reason for me to continue to want to live on this earth.
Now, I understand, Chief Beardy, that the suicide rate among young First Nations people is 2 to 3 times the national average. Kids, many of them far-flung northern communities, maybe not having much purpose for life, taking their own lives. As a chief, I'm sure this concerns you. How are you dealing with this, and do you have any plans or strategies in place to help young people?
Yes, we lose, with Nishnawbe, Aski, the territory I represent, we lose about 30 young people to suicide every year. That's suicide. We also lose a lot of our young people to violence on an annual basis. That concerns me very much. So what we try to do is that I work with the church leaders, I work with my leaders, the chiefs and councils, to begin to develop strategies to give meaning for life with our young people. We provide strategies, develop strategies to provide counseling, to provide educational opportunities, and to give them support to want to continue to live.
Is fatherlessness a factor in some of these children having no sense of purpose?
I see a lot of it in my territory. There's a lot of family breakups. Yeah. There's a lot of family breakups, and I think what happens is that when a child loses their parents due to a family breakup, that impacts them greatly, and as a result, I think they get lost in their lives. They don't see any purpose for their existence.
Now, Brayden, you're not lost. You have a strong man here who's caring for you and helping you and leading you through life, which is a marvelous blessing, I believe, from God. What do you want to be when you grew up?
I don't really know.
You don't know. What do you think about these people who think you're going to be a chief someday? Do you think that they may be onto something? Do you think they may be right? Yeah. So you'll finish your schooling, right? You'll go to school. You'll probably go to university one day. Maybe one day you'll have a wife. Maybe you'll have children of your own. You'll be a good dad, right? Like Chief Beardy. Do you have special hobbies that you like to play? Things you like to do just for fun?
Hockey.
Hockey? What position?
We don't know yet.
You don't know yet. You just like playing hockey. Well, so do I. So did I. I don't play it much these days. And do you have a? Well, you cheer for the Montreal Canadiens. What about junior hockey teams? Who do you cheer for in junior hockey?
The North Stars.
The North Stars, which is that's is that a Thunder Bay team? It is. They're from Thunder Bay. Ah, okay. I haven't seen them play, but I'd like to watch them. Do you think the Maple Leafs have any hope? There you have it, from the mouths of babes. Chief, when you are traveling and meeting with other chiefs and people who look to you for leadership, what are their thoughts and comments when you have Brayden with you? What do they say about this little guy?
I think they have a lot of respect for him. I know. One year, right, the following year after I lost my son, I traveled with him very extensively that summer. I think we traveled something like 30 days to a lot of the northern communities. So shortly thereafter, when I started traveling and he wasn't with me, they thought I would be with him all the time. So they sort of expect me to be with him all the time, but it's not possible because he has to go to school.
Got to go to school, yeah.
He has to play. He plays hockey and other things, and he's got his own family and his mom. He's on loan to us a lot, so he's got his own big family. He's got a loving family, extended family. He's very well looked after, and I just grateful that his mom has that understanding to lend Brayden to us.
Now, just before we conclude, two lieutenant governors have played a big role in your life, at least that I'm aware of. One is former Lieutenant Governor Jim Bartleman, who I've interviewed 3 or 4 times, a marvelous man who began a literacy program for young people in the North. And then the current Lieutenant Governor, His Honor David Onley. In fact, it was he who organized our first meeting at Queen's Park when we talked about your story. Do you feel that you're getting encouragement and empowerment from the top in Ontario in terms of your goals and aspirations?
Oh, definitely. When I work with the lieutenant governors, I think it's so important for them to realize that through education, the cycle of poverty, the cycle of social dysfunctionalism that exists in my communities will be addressed, and they provide a lot of reading material, reading camps to our children, and I think I'm starting to see results of that in my communities where children love to read and they want to go to school.
Right. And most of them are going to church too, right?
Yes, within my territory, roughly 50% are Christian-oriented, the others are traditional spirituality. But as First Nation people, we are very spiritual people. We have a special connection to our Creator, so I think irregardless what you practice, we are spiritual. I think we connect with God, the Creator.
Yeah. Well, this is an inspiring story. I wouldn't be surprised if someday somebody wants to make a movie out of it, and it would be a beautiful movie indeed. So, Grand Chief Stan Beardy of the Nishnawbe Aski Nation, honored to have you with us, and Brayden Pelletier, his special son. It's been a great story. Thanks for coming our way.
Sure.
All the best to you.